Hey, time travelers, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Antonella Ruffalo, and this is our review of Timestreams.
A lot of celebrities whose careers went bad should play this game, so they can go back to actually know what the hell they thought they knew they were doing. Jean-Claude Van Damme. In the box, you'll find 2 decks of cards depending on which box you bought. You have the Medieval versus Modern box, and you have the Stone Age versus Future Tech box. If you buy both boxes, you can choose which deck you want to play with, and you can also have 3 or 4 player games. The cards will contain 6 of the era cards from the Stone Age to Future Tech, a player aid card with all the rules summarized, invention cards which are used to give you points, and action cards which are used to affect other cards in play. For this review, we'll be looking at Stone Age versus Future Tech.
To set up the game, it's really simple. Give each player a deck of cards which they will shuffle and place in front of them. Then place the 6 era cards in a line in order from Stone Age to Future Tech. Depending on which deck you choose to play with, that era will also give you a bonus effect during the game. Each era represents a different day, so the game is played in 6 rounds, 1 round for each era. Each round consists of turns. Players will go back and forth playing cards from their hand or passing. If both players pass in a row, that era ends and they move on to the next era. At the start of an era, players will draw up to a hand of 6 cards. Then, taking turns, they will play cards on that era. Your goal is to have high-scoring cards in the top 6 cards of that era. Cards have special effects which affect other cards and can change around the order, mimic other cards, destroy cards, etc. Once both players are satisfied with the era or run out of cards, they both pass and move on to the next era. Some cards affect tomorrow and yesterday. The era you are currently playing in is called today. Tomorrow is the next era and yesterday is the last era. Some cards can also affect tomorrow and yesterday's cards as well. This is where the strategy of the game comes in. You really have to use your cards wisely and try to stay in the top 6 cards of that era.
When you play a card, it is played below the last card played, but some cards say otherwise. The number at the top is the points you will get at the end of the game, if that card is in the top 6 scoring cards. At the end of the game, some cards have a score effect, which takes place when the card is scored. So once both players have passed in a row, in the Future Tech era, the scoring begins. The top card of the Stone Age is scored. If it has a score effect, you do that effect. Then you score the second card and do its score effect, if any. Do this for the top 6 scoring cards and then move on to the next era and so on. Some cards will move around other cards, or even destroy some during the scoring phase, which can alter your entire strategy.
You really have to be careful where you place your cards, how you use them, and make sure you know what will happen during scoring. The player with the most points wins the game. Each card is colored according to the deck they are from, so you won't have a problem seeing which card belongs to which player. The strategy of the game is great, but we're not sure about the balance for some reason. The future guys always won. Future Tech and Modern Day seem like they were easier to play as, and a little stronger. Each deck has their own combos and ways of playing, so you have to play a couple of games to get used to them. The artwork is nice and a little hazy, as if you were dreaming this history timeline. The player aid cards are very helpful, but the rulebook needs some work when it comes to explaining the bottom and top cards of the stack you're making. We enjoyed the game, played many rounds, and will play it again for sure. We did get a misprint though. We got a Vortex Stone Age card with the back of a Future Tech card, and I wonder if it's worth anything. Anyways, it's a fun card game, lots of strategy and planning, and we're giving it a 7.5 on 10. Keep an eye for the other box set as well, which will have the Renaissance versus the Industrial Revolution.